Hi guys, back again. Nerdhammer 1988. So this time I'm going to try and keep it so that I don't have to do any separate parts. Just because obviously I'm used to uploading videos now. So we jump to part 3. This is basically where you've moved your units past the command phase. You've done your movement phase. You've moved all of your units. You've moved your orc boys. You've moved your tower boys. And then you want to then start shooting. So, take for instance, these boys want to shoot at these tower boys. First, you check to see whether anyone is in range. So you check 18 inches, which is what I've done here. You then go from the base of the model all the way along up until you get to the other unit and make sure it's within the 18 inches, which this time it is. So it means that you can shoot them. So you are actually in range of that unit. So then if we jump to the orc stats, like I said before in the previous video, they've all got shooters. Because they're the normal 18 inches, they can't use what we call rapid fire because they're not within half of the range. But we'll get back to that when it's needed. So for now, we're just using the shooter. And they get 2 shots each, hitting these particular tau on a 5+ because they're orc shooting. Shooting for orcs aren't very good. Strength for 4, and 1 damage apiece if it hits them. So then, all we do is we go to our dice. And let's take, for instance, on this occasion, only 3 of those orcs can reach these tau. So that would be 6 shots, because I've only got 6 dice. So what you do is you roll. And on this occasion, only 1 shot actually went through, because I rolled the 5. And the rest of them didn't go anywhere near. So they get discarded, and you literally have your 1 shot. So then it jumps to the strength of the weapon, which is 4. And that then corresponds with the toughness of these particular warriors, which would then be toughness 3. Which means, because the 3 is lower than the 4, it means that you only need to roll a 3 on this, which we didn't actually get, so therefore you didn't wound. So all of those orcs just shot all of their weapons and completely missed. Now, if this was the other way around, and it was the Tau shooting the orcs, it would be different, because they have 2 shots each. So that is where it's the same, but then the pulse carbine has a better range, which means more people would be in range, which means we're just going to have to double up on the dice rolls. But they are hitting on a 4+. And again, as you can see, 20-inch movement, so they would definitely be in range, because we've just checked whether the orcs were in range, and they were in range at 18 inches. Then they get 2 attacks each. And as we can see here, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say 5 that can shoot. So 2 times 5, that would be 10. So we'll do the 6. Now again, these are hitting because they've got better weapons on a 4+. So that was actually 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10. We need to do another 4. So that's 1. So just the 1. Okay, so altogether, the Tau managed to hit, because you do your rolls for hitting first, and then you roll for your wound, which always goes off the strength and the toughness of the particular person that you're shooting at. So the first one was the one where you're firing all your volley of shots at the other person. You roll, you see to hit them, and then if it hits them, you can then jump across to the wounds to see if you wound any of those other people that you're aiming at. So your 5 hits that are here, all now are going to go to wound. Now this is where it gets easy but also difficult at the same time. So when you're rolling to wound, again, like I said, goes off the strength of the weapon. So you're looking at your pulse carbine, and it is strength 5. So then we look to the toughness of the actual orc, and his toughness is 5. So because it's level and it's not above or below, it goes to an even number, which is 4. So you'd be using 4s to hit. To wound, sorry, apologies. So when you're wounded on this one, you actually only wounded on these 2 dice because you got 4 on both. So this particular weapon doesn't have any armor penetration. So because it doesn't have any armor penetration, it means that it doesn't take any minus to their armor save. So now the orcs now get a chance to save those 2 wounds that flew at them and try and save it, but they do only get a 5+, which is where we came back to the save. So we do roll 2 dice. So 1 saved and 1 went through. So that basically means that 1 wound went through onto the boys and another one just completely missed it and just ignored it because they're orcs and they're hard. So basically one of them is now dead, as you can see. So 1 wound equals 1 dead. So then we go to the table and you just take 1 particular model that died off the table. That unit has now been shot.